Hi, I'm back. Once again, let's share our screen. Okay. I'm gonna try to use this. Sometimes this acts up, the screen sharing acts up, but right now it's not. So while it's not, I'm gonna take advantage of it. Now, this is especially true if you are teaching English, but even if you're learning, you know, sometimes when you're teaching something that seems like pure common sense, just, well, that's just the way it is because that's just the way it is. And the student says, well, how do I know? This is one reason, especially if you are an ESL teacher or you're helping someone to learn English. You have to understand the language yourself. Just because you speak it doesn't mean you understand it. You understand it because you've been living in an English-speaking country for your life. Ever since you were born, or ever since you have been born, or ever since, well, for a long time. So things become what we call common sense, but there really isn't anything called common sense. Because what's common sense now, 50 years ago, might have been considered crazy. And what was normal and quite acceptable, at least for a portion of the population 100 years ago, it's abominable now, or maybe it's heaven now, right? So when someone says, well, why is it like that? You can, very rarely is the answer. Sometimes it is, especially in a language such as English, because it's so irregular. But even in English, there's a reason. So if you remember, we're talking about the long versus the short sound. Well, now we're going to look at how do you make in writing? How do you express, not make, how do you express in writing that long sound? In English, there's several ways. We saw one in which you have at the end of a short word, the vowel E, going backwards, then you have the consonant, and then going backwards even further, you have right before the consonant, a vowel. And normally speaking, when you have that type of structure, the E going backwards, separated, you have the consonant, and then you have a vowel. Normally speaking, the vowel that goes before the consonant is long. And of course, I shouldn't say of course, you see, I'm assuming. You should know that that E is always silent. It's only there so that the vowel that goes before that consonant is pronounced long, A. Well, there's another way to pronounce at least the A of the vowel A, E, I, O, U, long. You have the structure A, I, and that A is pronounced A. The I is silent. So let's look at some words. I'm going to pronounce them, and maybe down the line you can turn down your volume and pronounce them with me. I'm going to pronounce the words. This will help you, especially if you're teaching. Oh yes, when a word has this structure, you pronounce in such a way. All right? Now, sometimes there are irregularities, but even if it's only 60% of the time, that's still a rule that your students could hold on to until they get to learn the language well. So here we go, made. Now, you know there's another way to write the word made, M-A-D-E, which follows that other rule. Wait. Once again, there's another way to write it, W-A-T-E. Main. Pain. Now there's P-A-N-E, the window pane, but it's not the pain of P-A-I-N, which means to hurt. Something hurts. I'm in pain. I'm hurting. Stain. Paid. Laid. Claim. Aim. Brain. Aim. Braid. That's what I have on top of my head. I have dreadlocks. Sometimes when they're hanging down, they bother me. So what do? I braid them, and then I put it, boom, right on top of my head. Saint. Raid. Aid. Fraidy cat. Now that's more of an expression. When somebody wants you to do something and you don't want to do it, you say, because you're a fraidy cat. It really means you are someone who's afraid. And fraidy is sort of slang for, or informal for afraid. Okay, once again, it went out. Grain. Every so often, I hope you have patience, because I'm doing this through Zoom. And Zoom is an excellent platform, but sometimes it can give trouble. They can give you trouble, okay? But you just keep your patience. Train. Waste, which is different from the waste that when you throw something away. Okay, so once again, what are we talking about? We're talking about the long vowel, the long sound of the vowel, I should say. And we've already learned one rule. I call it the E rule, right? It's the, and I'm going backwards now, it's the E consonant vowel sound. Now, if you want to go forward, it's the vowel consonant E sound. Now we're talking about the long A, but being expressed in a different way in writing. So you have the A and the I together. That's a diphthong. Those are two letters together to make a unique or particular sound, because you only pronounce the A and you pronounce it like the long A. You do not pronounce the I. So you can see, for example, waist can be pronounced W-A-I-S-T. That's the thing on your body. I think it's near your hip, right? But then there's waist, W-A-S-T-E. And that's the thing you throw away. Maid, M-A-I-D, that's a woman or a person who works in your home to help you clean up your home. And then there's made, M-A-D-E, something that is made, produced, created. Okay, so once again, we're going to go out. And until the next time, this is Coralla Ficklin at welcome.com. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.